Yeah, I know that the bottom Jean Amber Geiger story was the big deal today with her getting convicted of murder and sentencing is gonna come, but I just didn't feel like covering it in a video. Primarily because you got a lot of people trying to act like it's the O.J. Simpson trial. Like, oh yes, woo, she gonna it don't bring the man back. It really don't. And as far as her and her future goes, we'll see what happens come sentencing. But over here, I felt like I saw this article and you see the question mark at the end of the headline, and I felt like answering a little bit. This is coming to us from The Guardian, which is a very left site. I know love is real. Why is stunning comic Nicole Byer still single? This is written by Coco Khan, and well, first and foremost, Coco, you put a pronoun in your headline. If she's stunning to you, congratulations, all right? Even though you are not particularly looking like a looker over there yourself, but either ways, it's very easy to just stop right here, say make a whole bunch of assumptions, which would be assumptions, but more like educated guesses as to why. But no. Let's get into this article, all right? Besides, that would make it like a 3-minute video. So, in her "Why Won't You Date Me" podcast, oh my goodness, she has an entire podcast called "Why Won't You Date Me." Oh man, this is really a thing for her. The presenter and actor speaks with unusual candor about her search for a partner. She talks about racist algorithms, people's fear of rejection, and the difficulties of dating in LA. Well, that's problem number one. You're in LA trying to find a relationship, I assume. That's not a really good place to look. I mean, if you in Cali, you might want to take it on, go to the outskirts, go to Fresno, go to Encinitas. But LA, as in LA? No, man. It's like trying to find love in New York. Like, why would you? That's just the culture in that area. So yeah, I think I see problem number one. Well, actually, like problem number 3, but we'll get to all this. Nicole Byer regularly gets asked for dating advice. Not by my friends, she says, because why would you ask a person who's single about dating? Damn good question. But strangers ask me so many questions. I'm like, my podcast is literally called "Why Won't You Date Me?" I don't know anything about dating. If I knew, I would be dating somebody. I mean, shit. Accurate, right? The podcast she is referring to is one of the world's funniest and most vulnerable. Ooh, once again, opinions. You might want to toss some qualifiers in there, Miss Khan. For the past 2 years, she has been sitting down with friends and fellow comedians to discuss her search for love, and theirs, and is soon to hit her 100th show. As the description of the podcast has it, Byer, who is now 33, has been single for decades. Okay, so decades with an S means like 2, so you've been single since you were 13? Despite being smart, funny, and sexually voracious. She's a hoe. Okay, so, I mean, she's been single, but she's clearly been getting piped down if she's sexually voracious, now hasn't she? Her honesty about this makes the podcast feel radical. Right? She is open about her yearning to be loved and her frustration at how difficult it is to find the right man or woman. Oh, and she's pansexual, because come on, let's be real, there's no such thing as bi. Either you'll bang anything or you won't. At a time when dating is arguably more difficult than ever, she offers candor from the trenches. The podcast hasn't boosted her success at dating because men won't listen. Like, it's the type of man that she wants wouldn't listen to her podcast. But she doesn't find it surprising. I'm not delusional, she says. I live in LA, where you have the creme de la creme of bodies to choose from. If you are a shallow person, body type is a thing. No, if you're a person with preferences and taste, body type is a thing. I mean, let's be real. We like them fit, and let's just go back up here. I don't know. It's not a full on body shot, but there's a couple of educated guesses to be had there. All right. In 2014, OkCupid released data showing black women were judged least attractive by users, receiving the lowest numbers of matches. I understand that I'm not the ideal standard of beauty. I'm not someone who people want to bring home to their mother. There are so many things working against me. And apparently you as well, because, I mean, I don't mean to be a dick, and I don't mean to keep dragging on about this, but it don't look like you really taking that great of care of yourself. You're not. It doesn't seem as if you like out in the gym and taking and rocking it every day. Now I could be wrong. I very well could be, but something tells me that I'm not. I wonder if she's a mom. This is more of her in the full body, and do you think that body hits the gym? You think that body's like, you think she's working for herself? How you going, like, you got things working against you, and one of those things is you, Miss Byer. I'm sorry to tell you this, but it don't seem as if, a 3 mile run is, a top of your priority list. I think that having my own money is demeaning to some guys. No, not really. Shoot, and borrow it from you. As well as being loud and someone that other people like. Okay, yeah, that loud thing, sweetheart. No, that is not attractive. I mean, it might feel good to you, but as you're demonstrating with your weight, you just care about what feels good to you, and you're more selfish than anything else because you don't bother to worry about what the person that you're the potential mate that you're looking for. You're not bothering to concern yourself with what they would like. This sounds full of myself, but my fans really like me. Okay, well, date a fan. They come to my meet and greets and want to connect with me, and I try to give them a little bit of myself because I appreciate them. So any date would have to understand that the people who watch my content share my life too. That's asking a lot. Not really, because you got a ton of folks out there that there's so much couples content, on the platform that, yeah, I mean, that's not a knock at all. People actually like to watch couples and people being quote unquote in love, even though I believe a lot of it is for show. But either ways, people like that type of stuff. So I don't think I think you are the biggest thing that holds you back more than any type of outside pressure, because I think you do not have the capacity or the ability to look within. And if my date was a woman, she'd have to understand that I have a lot of female fans, and she wouldn't be able to get jealous every time a woman talked to me. The fact that Byer has been single her whole life is baffling. Okay, and here we're going into Miss Khan. Let's reiterate this this situation going on over here. I mean, not completely awful, but at the same time, I mean, definitely not a 35%er. So this is Miss Khan's opinion of what's her name? She is beautiful, hilarious, warm, and in every other area seems pretty close to taking over the world. Wow, she really boosting her, yo. Like, do you want to date her? I mean, she's clearly bisexual. If you wanna, saying, muff box, by all means, have at it. She's the host of the popular and extremely silly baking show Nailed It on Netflix, in which Netflix. Who, like, they're like insane leftists that give any and everybody, except for Monique, money to produce things. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, like, honestly, right now, something that's like really popping up and down on the timeline is this movie called Tall Girl, which honestly, the reviews make it seem pretty okay, but I canceled the Netflix because I was only there for the Dave Chappelle, in which contestants are not exactly capable bakers are asked to make, say, a cake in the shape of Napoleon or a phenomenally lifelike shark. Since taking her first improv class in 2008, Byer has roles on 30 Rock and Saturday Night Live. She has written and starred in her own semi-autobiographical comedy show, Loosely Exactly Nicole, for MTV, and later Facebook. And this year, her stand-up special was released on Netflix. Never heard of it. Not bothering with it, okay? On the podcast, Byer is hilarious and boisterous. Once again, Miss Khan, your opinion. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is just an opinion piece. Like I said, It started with a question, and I figured it was good to answer it. Like, you're an enabler, ma'am. Her guests critique her dating app profiles, often expressing particular admiration for a picture that shows her climbing up a bookshelf in a catsuit. She talks about sex toys and sex acts, pornography, and pole dancing, as well as her conversations with her therapist. Yeah, so you're so out there that you're way too out there. Byer discovered her gift for making people laugh as a child. My grandmother is from Barbados, so she says things Americans don't really say. If she found something funny, she'd say, "Oh, you tickle me." And I've I've heard Americans say that. And I like that. So my goal was to get her to say that as much as possible. Byer has attention deficit disorder, ADD, and she says that medicating for it changed her life, allowing her to organize her thoughts and finish tasks. But her highest praise is reserved for the therapy she has undertaken over the past 2 years. Byer's parents died when she was young, her mother when she was 16, and her father when she was 20. 16 and 21? You do realize there are people who don't get their parents even for the 16 years. Like, yo, you're like, I'm sorry, but you had at least one parent for 21 years. That's a pretty decent amount of time. And therapy has helped her work through those unresolved traumas. You were 21, not 6. Like, you were 16 and 21, not 6 years old. You know, they didn't get murdered in front of you. You're not Bruce Wayne. You weren't you didn't walk out of a theater because of your fear of bats, and then your parents get mugged and murdered in a street alley right in front of you. No, that didn't happen to you, lady. Unresolved traumas. Not to be dismissive, but yeah, a little bit to be dismissive. There's a saying: what doesn't kill you make you stronger? No, it makes you internalize, act out, and maybe harm yourself. No, what doesn't kill you, it should make you stronger, but it's made you neurotic and really, I guess, self-deprecating. I said to my uncle, I'm on ADD medication. He said, you don't need that. I said, I'm going to see a therapist. He said, why would you do that? She says, in the black community, medication and therapy is stigmatized. But because our problems are very blatant. You do realize that, right? Like, you're sitting there like, oh my goodness, I need a therapist to talk to me and have me figure through all my trauma and stuff like that. Like, no, you're very selfish, because the problems in the black community, they're not stigmatized at all. Like, therapy, it's not stigmatized, it's just not necessary, because honestly, the problems the problems and the solutions are very, very blatant. What these types of the medication and the therapy and stuff like that, what that is there to do is to distract. The same way crack did, the same way opioids do. That's all it is. It's just a distraction, and alternately a means to get people into prison. Not the therapy, but definitely the opioids. But I want to talk about it because my therapist has given me the tools to succeed. So why wouldn't you do the same? Byer is also a co-host of Best Friends, a podcast exploring modern female friendships. Okay. When she presents with fellow comedian Shashir Zamata, I don't know who that is, I ask her whether there are parallels between dating and forming friendships. How would she know if she don't date? She just gets smashed and ran through. I can't help but feel like that's the bit of information that's not being shared in this video, in this story, is that she catching tons of me. She just not dating nobody because who would claim that? I'm not saying, but who in LA would claim that? There's plenty. Go down to Alabama, you definitely do amazing as far as options go. Out in LA, you a 2 in LA. Like, why would you even bother? Seriously, honestly, it's not to be a mean, it's not to be a jerk, but if you know you on the bigger side, you know you more on the unconventional side, then why would you even shoot that shot? But I mean, it's paid off for us, so congratulations. Even though I don't know who the hell she is, this article just came across the TL, and it was a question mark at the end, and I said, you know what, screw it, why not? I think people are just as scared to make a move on a friendship as they are with a relationship. Hell no. I think we are all just terrified of being rejected. That's the thing about a friendship. A friendship is just laughing. Like, hey, if you're a comedian, you should be able to, be cool with people and laugh and make jokes, because that's literally your job. What are you talking about, lady? Could this be a reason why people won't date her? That they are simply afraid of being rejected by such an impressive magnetic... Are they fucking? I gotta ask. Yo, like, are they? Like, I just don't know, man. Like, she's being real flowery in this article, man. So you're saying these people maybe think I'm going to reject them, she muses. That would be an interesting flip. I do sometimes have people ask me on the apps, is this really you? Are you really Nicole Byer? So I'd say, why would I use Nicole Byer as a catfish? Catfishing is where someone presents themselves as a different person online by using someone else's picture. And they'd replied, why wouldn't you? Yeah, because I mean, you apparently have a bit of a name for yourself. You clearly got some papers, so I mean, yeah, anybody would catfish for anybody. It's like what I say in another video that I did, that you never know who like you. Like why you acting surprised? Like, seriously, like you never know who finds you attractive. Like, dead ass. It's just how that rocks. Cause particularly us dudes, man, we can focus in on the feature and just like, she got some real pretty eyes, son. That dang right, she got some real pretty eyes. I mean, the rest of it is just like, boom, 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 boom. But those eyes, top notch, man. I'm pretty sure when the top's going on and she looking up at you, I mean, splash zone, right? Splash zone. But if I was going to pick a catfish, she continues, I would use a white lady's picture. Oh, wow, you are super insecure. That's how you would get more traction. A hot white lady. Well, I mean, shit, it is what it is, but that's not what you are. So, I mean, she says if she was going to be a catfish, she would choose a hot white lady. But the deal is that that's too obvious. Like, just the I don't know, the criminal in me is just like, you know what, nah, that's a little too obvious though, right? So why not pretend to be somewhat successful? You're getting paid to write jokes. So I mean, a somewhat successful comedian, and and try to suck a cast like that. It actually seems like a pretty good plan. I'm not gonna lie. I tell Byer there is evidence to suggest that the algorithms some dating apps use to further entrench social hierarchies based on factors such as race and body type. The theory goes that as black women are chosen less, arguably due to white and Eurocentric standards of beauty and femininity. This is some shit that females made up. Like, this is something that somebody put in a book. They read it, and that was it. Like, one of the biggest misconceptions from back in the day, like, they used to say, oh, if you want to hide something from people, you put it in a book. Nah, man, you put it in a book, and then you let them read it, and all of a sudden, they're just like, oh, well, you know what, there is a beauty No, it's people got eyes, okay? You think if, Megan Fox, and you walk up, like, hey, Jay, I would, shit, who you think I'm rocking with in that situation, right? You the one out in LA, so that's the standard that you decided to go set for yourself. If your happy ass was in, Tennessee or someplace like that, you would have cats falling all over you. They are given a lower score for their desirability. This score, in turn, helps determine who they are shown, as apps want to show people others with similar scores, in the hope this will encourage matches. In effect, this keeps everyone in their place. Oh my goodness, she done broke down these people. Just go, go out and be as aggressive and loud as you want to be, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some dude there like, hey, what up? But that's the thing, like, I don't think she has a problem finding anybody. I don't think this is strictly about having a relationship, not sex. Cause she can definitely get piped down, but the deal is that you've probably been piped down so much that it's just, you're not really worth an investment. What, Byer screams? My day is ruined. I had no idea, but it makes so much sense now that black women have such a hard time on apps. It's because the algorithm is racist. That's why I don't take you seriously, Guardian. This is an example of why I don't take you seriously. On the podcast, her life is her material. Does she ever feel tempted to make things up or construct construct reality somehow? Has she ever gone on a date with someone who sounded unpromising? For instance, just to have something to talk about. No, I want to be in a relationship, she says. I want to go on a date with a weirdo. I will go on a date with a weirdo because maybe they could be my weirdo. And yes, they may be very fun to talk about, but I will go just in case they are perfect for me. Byer remains upbeat and optimistic, and notice, like, once again, sexually vivacious, right? So, like, there's only one way to know this. Thusly, she catching pipe, all right. But as far as like, yo, but he definitely like it might just be like one dude or two or three dudes, but they definitely ain't showing off, and she definitely wants to step up to the show off game. Byer remains upbeat and optimistic. I do think love is real, even though it's not. It's dopamine. It's a chemical reaction in our brains that encourages us to, like, do and care for people, and want to do well for them. That's all it really is. Not particularly, like love in the magical sense. She says, and I do think I'm going to find it. How does she say positive at 33? Like, it doesn't mention if she has kids or not either. I'd be interested because, like, oh yeah, I mean, because there's certain things that back in the day, if she says she never dated, she's never, like, what I'm saying, she doesn't date, or she's like never had a date or a boyfriend, you could just assume that she's never, what I'm saying, been cracked. But not in 2019. Sorry, like, that benefit of the doubt is gone. So, like, she may just have children too. I mean, that's very interesting. I have bad days like everybody else, but I also have ADD. So I'll have a bad day and then something good will happen. I'll forget about the badness. And that's the Guardian asking for money because they post this type of nonsense. There is Nicole, Byer, you don't take care of yourself. You're a bad investment. I mean, it's pretty obvious to see. I mean, and that's the thing about, like, big girls for the most part, particularly out there in LA. Like, out in, like, if you're in, like, saying, like, not LA as an urban center, but, like, Detroit or someplace like that, yeah, it'd be tons of guys like falling over you and stuff like that trying to get at you. But the deal is that you in LA and you trying to, like, oh my goodness, like, seriously, your chest is smaller than your stomach. Not just your stomach, but your whole situation in there. And I'm pretty sure you have absolutely no interest in fixing that or changing that. And I'm talking about, like, legitimately, not going and getting somebody's liposuction or, like, surgery or anything else like that. Like, you just have no interest in taking care of yourself. I mean, and that's pretty obvious from here. So, why is stunning comic Nicole Byer still single? Because she's a bad investment. Sorry. Like, who would want to put the rest of their life in your hands when it seems like you don't even have your own life in your hands, darling? Not with this. Not with that. Sorry. It don't seem like you got your own life in your hands. And that's not me trying to fat shame anybody. That's me just being logical and practical. Because, like, as men, that's ultimately, like, what we are. And that our biological sense is like, yo, can this woman bear me children? Like, just from, like, a man of his right mind, like, can this woman bear me children? And will she, like, can she be a partner? And unfortunately, you just do not seem like the type of person that makes a good partner. But you do got your own money. So congratulations. There you go. Get yourself a gigolo. You'll be all right. I mean, but that's the thing. I don't think she needs penis. I think she's trying to, like, have the whole relationship deal, and it's just not. I'm sorry, darling. You were sold feminism's lie. Like, feminism sold you the lie. Like, yeah, girl, you can be a career woman, you can have it all, and all this other stuff, and you're perfect the way you are, and you don't have to take care of yourself by any stretch of the imagination, and gotta. So, enjoy. Alright, and with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, yeah, go ahead, do that too. I ain't scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube and bitch you didn't like, they don't really feel me like that. And speak, let me know, what do you think in the comments? Am I wrong? Like, that's the thing. That's why I do these videos. I want somebody to say, Jay, you're wrong, and have this real fantastic argument just ready to knock me out the park. I'm looking forward to it. I want it. That's why I'm gonna keep making videos, because I want somebody to say, Jay, you're wrong, and then hit me with, like, a real legit argument. And I've actually had some pretty good conversations in my comment section. And so I'm chasing that high, man. I'm chasing it. So let me know what you think of this one, all right? And until the next one.